Crystal, welcome back to the channel. I'm Crystal, aka the Wholesome Witch, and today we're getting into something really fun that you guys, or a few of you guys, have been asking me about, which is creating your own energy sprays. I like to call them magical mists. So I've mentioned these a few times in past videos as something that's practical to add into your day, and that brought up a few of you asking me how to make them. So today we are going to go through how, at least my process of how I make my energy sprays, and we're going to do three. We're going to do one for cleansing, protection, and one that is overall uplifting, positive kind of vibes. That I just think these three are practical ones that are good to have on hand all the time, so that's why we're going to do those today. I will link all three of the recipes down in the description as well in case you want to save them for later. So these are kind of a really great staple to have in your magical toolkit, so to speak, because they contain energies that can easily break up negativity and refresh the energy in a room. I always like to have a few on hand. I do like to craft them myself. You can also buy them. There's some really good suppliers that sell energy mists. I do feel when you make your own, you are able to put that extra intention and energy and magical touch of your own into them. So I do like to make them myself. It's quite a therapeutic process, at least for me. I find it very calming and soothing to make them. And if you've not made them before, hopefully after this video and after you try, you'll also think of them as a nice little magical therapy session. And then they'll also last you a while, depending on how big of a bottle you make and depending on how often you use them. But a 50 or 100 ml bottle will usually last me, I don't know, a few months really. And they are super simple to make. They only require a few ingredients. And looking behind me, it might look like there's a lot of ingredients, but remember, we're making 3 different ones. And at the very basic core of them, you really only need essential oil and water and whatever focus or intention you want to put into them. You really don't need more than that. I add a couple of extra things into mine. I've been playing with recipes for quite a long time and kind of developed a system, so to speak, of things that I like to include. And if you play around and continue making them for yourself, you'll probably find ingredients that you see yourself leaning to all the time. If you don't have all the ingredients that I have in the video, please do not fret, don't worry. Again, water and essential oil is really the only 2 things you need. And I'm using 3 different essential oils in each of these sprays, but you can absolutely 100% just do it with 1. I'm using 3 because I like combining energies of different oils that complement each other. I also like combining scents that complement each other. And again, it's not mandatory, and it's maybe something that you will progress with over time as you learn what scents you like and how you like to blend things together. Scent is also, not the number one purpose of these sprays, but it's a nice extra, we'll say, when they also smell really pleasing and have a job to do at the same time. The more you make them, the more personal they're going to become for you, and the more personalized your recipes are going to become as well. Mine have adapted a lot over the years. I started making my own sprays in 2012. 2012 is the year that I started making a lot of my own products in general. Lotions and face oils and energy sprays and lip balms. I just started making all of these things for myself. I wanted to use things that were more natural and that I kind of knew what I was putting into them. And it was a skill that I had wanted to learn for a very long time, making my own sprays, making my own lotions. And if you have a guess as to what made me want to do this, put it down in the comments. I would like to know what you think. Keep in mind, I came into my witchy self in the 90s, so there was a lot of pop culture references and influence, and the thing that made me want to make my own products was practical magic. Sally's adorable shop, I was like, well, damn, I want to know how to do that. That looks really amazing. So finally in 2012, many years later, I decided, you know what, I'm going to learn how to make my own stuff. And I took some training and all of this. And it's actually where the Wholesome Witch started, was as my natural product business back in Toronto. That's a story for a whole different time. Anyhow, I've been making these for a very long time, so I've kind of adapted things and have found out over the years what I like to use best. And the same will happen for you. You'll find out what scents you like, because maybe something has a really great property, like, I don't know, say clary sage essential oil. Great for protection. Maybe you can't stand the smell. So you're gonna wanna find an alternative that you like better, and that's totally fine. So I'm gonna go through what I have here, and then we will get into making the first recipe. But basic materials that you're gonna need: water. Distilled water is best. Distilled water won't leave watermarks on things if you happen to spray around like your furniture, your tables, whatever. Distilled water isn't going to leave a watermark like tap water would. You can still use tap water, just be aware distilled water will keep it cleaner, let's say. And essential oils, so ones that are really great to start with and have many uses, I would say lavender, chamomile, and peppermint. You can craft so many different intentions with just those 3 oils. So there are probably 3, maybe, and a citrus one would be nice as well. So say lemongrass or sweet orange. And these ones are not so pricey either, the ones that I just mentioned. Some of the essential oils can be very expensive, and you know, we don't all have ton of money to spend on essential oils. So those 4 are relatively on the lower end of cost and very adaptable, very wide range of energetic properties with just those ones. So what are essential oils? Spray bottles. So I like to use amber glass bottles. Amber glass is best for anything with essential oils. It keeps them better and keeps the light out, that kind of thing. And glass is better than plastic, just always in general. So I bought these little 50 ml bottles off of Amazon. And I don't usually get like bottles and things off of Amazon, and another option is save jars and bottles if you want to start making your own stuff. So I also have lots of hand sanitizer spray bottles that I save that I will use for sprays as well. They are plastic, so they're not my first choice, but I have them and I can use them in a pinch. But these I found on Amazon and they're a really great price. It was like 8 of these 50 ml bottles for like $6.99. It was a really good deal. At least it felt like one. So spray bottles, you're gonna want a little funnel. Now this one is so cute and so tiny. It came with these amber glass bottles that I just bought actually, but you can buy like sets of mini funnels. Metal ones are nice, but today this came with, so I'm just gonna use these. So make sure you have a funnel, otherwise you're just gonna make quite a big mess when you're trying to get all the liquids inside the bottle. And measuring spoons for measuring your ingredients. Any standard set of measuring spoons will work, and that's all you need. I have a couple of extra ingredients I like to use, and I'm going to tell you why. I include vegetable glycerin in my sprays because vegetable glycerin helps to blend the ingredients, because when you have oil and water, they're going to separate, right? And they're still going to separate. There's no artificial anything that we're putting in here to make them stay combined. So we're always going to want to give them a shake before using them, but the vegetable glycerin helps to, what's the word they use, solubilize and keep things blended together a little bit better. So I always like to use a little bit of that, and I like to put witch hazel. I like to put witch hazel into mine for a couple of reasons. The witch hazel has the energetic property of just refreshing and cleansing. And I like to use that in all of my sprays just as one of my base ingredients. I basically just like the energy that it pulls into the spray, any spray at all. Kind of like it gives it a fresh palette, it makes space for the intention that you want the spray to hold. Does that make sense? I hope it does. And also I kind of like the smell of witch hazel. I like how it blends with other things. Maybe not everybody's bag, but I like to use it. Totally optional. You do not have to use it. You also do not have to use the vegetable glycerin. These are just, like I said, my preferences and things that I've come to like using over time. Yes, another thing I like to add in, if I'm feeling fancy, I like to add floral waters. So today I'm going to use some chamomile water but you can buy lavender water, rose water. If it's something you're interested in doing, it, adds some extra energetic properties. It adds a little bit of pleasant scent into the blend as well. Maybe over time you'll like to include floral waters, but that is totally up to you. I use a mix usually of floral water and just regular water, because floral waters, depending on the one, it can be a bit pricey, so I use it sparingly, but I do like to include some. And then extra elements I add in when doing my sprays, because I like to, make the process into a nice little ritual. I usually light a white candle because white can be used for any intention that you want to bring in. So especially if I'm making multiple sprays, the white candle is kind of like an overall magical element that will work for everything. And it also has general energies of blessings and cleansing. So white is usually my candle of choice for when I'm doing things like this. So I light a candle. I'm going to cleanse my ingredients. Either I will use energetically cleanse, for the ingredients. I will either use an incense. I have a clear quartz crystal wand that I use sometimes, or today I'm going to use my actual wand, which has clear quartz crystal ball on the tip. This is actually a very beautiful wand that my sister bought me. So I'm going to use this today to cleanse the materials before we start. Something else I like to do before starting is I like to cleanse the counters, both actually cleanse them because, we're putting ingredients together we're going to use in our space and possibly on ourselves, and energetically cleanse them as well. So I make like an energetic cleaning spray that I use to clean counters before doing things like this. If you want, I can do a video on making cleaning sprays that are also energetically charged. Let me know in the comments if that sounds interesting or like something you want to see, because I can do that later. So yeah, cleanse your counters. We're going to cleanse our bottles and things. Sometimes I'll bring a crystal into the space. Today I have amethyst. Amethyst has properties for cleansing, protection, and uplifting positivity as well. So I thought it was great for the 3 sprays that we're making today. I feel like I've been talking forever. There's, I guess, a few things to consider before starting to make them, especially if it's your first time making them. Yeah, I've been talking forever. I'm going to stop talking. We're going to get into making the first spray. And I hope this video is helpful, and I hope it gets you excited about making your own sprays in the months and weeks and years to come. So let's get started. Okay, so the first one we're going to make is our cleansing mist. But first I'm going to light my candles. I have 2 today. I don't always have 2. But, didn't want to light. But why not? You can never have too many candles. Am I right? I have such a hard time lighting candles when they get like low in the container. It's like scared to burn it myself. Isn't this one cute though? It smells delicious. I got this one at TK Maxx last spooky season, and I haven't burned the whole thing. I like to preserve the ones that smell really good. Okay, so first we're going to use our wand. Like I said, you can use an incense or a crystal or even just a visualization to cleanse your bottles before you start. So I like to focus my energy on just calming, cleansing, refreshing vibes when I'm doing this, and I'll run the wand around my bottle like this. While I'm focusing, I'll usually do like a visualization of clearing energy. Visualizing is hard for you. You might want to visualize a color that feels cleansing to you, or you could even play some music that feels cleansing for you if visualization is hard, because I know it doesn't come naturally to everybody. And I like to do these bits as well. And I like to also do my measuring spoons. And this is just moving the energy around. You can do it however you like. This is just my process. And if I'm being honest, I'm talking my way through it, so I'm not as focused on the cleansing as I would normally be if I wasn't filming at the same time. And let's do the funnel as well. So this could also be an incense stick, and you just run it over everything with that intention in your mind. And let's move this. And then I kind of will do like a general sweep over everything before I start. So I'm gonna put the first one together like slow with you guys, and then I'm probably gonna do like a time lapse for the second two because it can get repetitive. I don't think you need to see me do this slowly every single time. And I hope I have everything in okay view of the camera. So what I like to do, I start with the vegetable glycerin first, and you don't need a lot. This has a very big spout. I'm afraid I'm gonna make a mess. Let's try our best. So I use a 1/4 teaspoon for a 50 ml bottle. I can't find my 1/4 teaspoon, so I'm using an 1/8 and putting 2. If you over pour a little, not a big deal, it's okay. Don't fret. And this, see, I'm already making a mess. It can get messy. It can get messy, I'll wipe that later. So vegetable glycerin, I put that in at the bottom. And then I'll do the essential oils. So the essential oils we're gonna use for our cleansing mist, we're gonna use lemongrass, and we're gonna use peppermint, and we're gonna use clary sage. So all 3 of these are great for cleansing. Peppermint's great for renewal. Lemongrass also has the uplifting positive energies within it. So I feel like these 3 really complement each other well. I also enjoy the scent combination of the 3. And you don't need your funnel for these. So when you're doing your essential oils, if you really want to get, I don't know, a little fancy or technical with it, and want to start doing scent blends, it's good to have a top note, a middle note, and a base note. This is just extra information. You don't need to worry about it really. Ooh, this one was new. I didn't even know that. New one. But yeah, you can research that more. Or I can do a video. I could talk about it more maybe in another moment in time. So I like to do, in 50 mils, I do about 30 drops of essential oil. 7, 8, 9. I like to do heavy on the citrus because that is just my preference. And then we're gonna do some peppermint. I'll do 10 drops of peppermint. Some oils, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well, oops, I think I did 11, that's okay. Some oils come out much faster than others that you'll notice as you work with them more. And then we're going to use 5 drops of clary sage because I find the scent of clary sage to be quite strong. 5. And I don't like it to overpower the others. But blending scents is something that can be really fun and experimental. It's really experimental and yeah, fun to do. But at the core of these, the scent is not the purpose of why you're doing them. It's not just body spray or room spray. The energies are what's most important, but having a nice scent blend is just a nice complementary aspect of the sprays. Okay, so essential oils, and then we're gonna do our witch hazel. I always like to do this next. And witch hazel, I put just 1 tablespoon. This is a really tiny funnel. We'll see. Let's see. Let's see how much of a mess I make. Sometimes your funnel is gonna get stopped up, and then you just need to lift it out. I poured too fast. And look what I've done. That's okay. We're not gonna worry about it. Let me see if I do better with the chamomile water. So I like to do a tablespoon of chamomile as well. And you know what? I'm gonna do 3 teaspoons instead of using the tablespoon because look at the mess I just made. Silliness. Okay, so we're gonna do 3 of these. Let's see if it works better. Oh yeah, much better. So a tablespoon, if you're using, this is a 50 ml bottle that I'm using. So if I use 100 ml bottles, I like to do 30 mils. And then the rest, we're just gonna fill the rest up with water. Okay, that was much more successful and less messy. And then we just fill the remainder of the bottle with water, however much that is. I guess it'd be about 20 mils here because I put 30 of witch hazel and chamomile. And be careful when you're filling that you don't overfill the bottle. I have done this many a time. If I'm not paying attention, I just keep adding water and it overflows on me. So that's all of our ingredients. We're we're gonna wanna put the cover on. Sorry, I didn't even say, when you're adding each ingredient, think about the properties that you are putting into the spray with that ingredient. So when you're putting in your lemongrass, you can even state out loud, may this lemongrass bring cleansing and positive energy to this mist. May this clary stage allow this mist to cleanse and refresh my space. Something like that. You can say whatever you like. And you can say it out loud or in your mind, it doesn't matter which. And you can also just think of the energies as you're putting them into the bottle. But just try and keep your focus on cleansing, refreshing energies as you're going through the entire process. And then what I like to do after everything's in the bottle is I shake it for 30 seconds and I focus on the energies I'm trying to attract into the spray. So I said a minute ago, however you want to do this, you can use a visualization, you can visualize glitter, you can visualize colors, you could visualize a cleansing scene in your mind, you can visualize yourself using the spray in your space. It's different for everybody, and visualization is different for everybody. It's a very personal thing. So I like to do that while I'm shaking, and then once I've shaken the bottle for 30 seconds, I either place my hands on top or I hold it in both hands like this, and I will state one final intention, affirmation, mini spell for the spray before I consider it finished and ready to go. So it can be something really simple like, may this cleansing mist remove negative energies from this space to make room for positive, uplifting feelings, emotions, and vibrations to enter. It can be something simple like that. I just made that up. Something that solidifies the process for you, something that feels good, feels solid, feels clear. Be very clear when you're putting your intention in at the end and throughout the process. And then I will put a little label on it so I don't get them mixed up. Consider this one ready to be used. So these little bottles also came with nice little stickers, which is great. I would just write cleansing mist on here. You can call them whatever you like to call them. I'm gonna grab a pen. So I have a pen. If you see my writing here, please keep your thoughts to yourself. I'm such a messy writer / printer, guys. Seriously messy. I always admire people who can do like really beautiful calligraphy. I think it's such a great skill. I am a mess, but it works for me. And I'll put a little symbol there on the bottom. So when you're doing your labels, you can add symbols or sigils, whatever you like to them as well, if you feel called to. So that's it. Our cleansing mist is done. It's ready, good to go. We are going to put together the other two mists, and I'm going to give you some final thoughts and things I may have left out and ways to use the sprays when we're done. So stick around and let's get these other two mists going. Guys, so our mists are done. I hope that little tutorial was helpful for you and that you will craft your own moving forward. So some ways I like to use the mists. I like to use them in rooms. If I feel a room needs a little uplift, I'll use the positive energy one. If it needs to have a little renewal and cleansing of energies, I'll use that one. A general protection around my home sometimes. Or I like to also use the mists on my person as well. Now keep in mind, if you have any essential oil sensitivities, if you're using them in your mist, using them on your body. And keep in mind, if you're spraying rooms, if you have pets, this kind of thing, just things you might want to consider. If you haven't worked with essential oils before, I recommend looking up the safety guidelines and some safety precautions before using them. They're quite potent and concentrated, so you always want to make sure you're using them safely. I like to use the protection one on myself before leaving the house sometimes. I also like to use the protection one in my bedroom before sleep. There's all kinds of ways you can use these, and I said in the beginning, you can craft them for so many different intentions, literally anything you can think of. It would be nice also to include in glamour magic for uplifting confidence and magnetism, charisma. That's a nice way to use them as well. But just think love, money, abundance, health, vitality, divination if you want to craft one for using before your tarot spreads. They can be just, they're so versatile, and one of the reasons why I love making them. And also, like I said, they're very therapeutic to make, which is really nice. It was interesting making them on camera. That was different. I was messier than normal. I usually do make a mess, but I was a little bit messier today. I think just trying to get it in the frame so you guys could see. I don't know. Anyways, and I also forgot to mention, when I'm holding the bottle at the end, I said to state your final mini spell intention. I like to state it 3 times because I like to work in 3s, but that's just a preference of mine. You can just state it once. You could state it 10 times. It's really up to you. I just wanted to throw that in there because I forgot to mention it. I don't know if there's anything else I want to say. I feel that I've done a lot more talking in this video than I expected to. I hope it's not boring. I hope all the talking I've been doing is helpful things. Let me know in the comments if you want me to do more in-depth videos on things like mixing the scents with the essential oils. I mentioned base, middle, top notes, that kind of thing. If you want more guidance on that, it's not really witchy, but it goes together with these mists or oils or any type of product you want to make. I would kind of like to, I think, do more of these tutorials going forward with how to make also like anointing oils, the magical cleaning products that I mentioned, even maybe some lotions and face toners, face oils, these kinds of things that are energetically charged. If those things sound interesting, do leave me a comment. I would really like to know. I make these videos for you guys, so I want to make sure I'm putting out there just the best things that you guys are going to get the most value out of and the things that you are going to find most interesting. So your feedback is always really appreciated. And I think that's all I have to say on the mists and that kind of stuff today. So thank you so much for joining me right until the end. I appreciate your presence, your likes, your comments, your feedback, all of it so very much. And if you did enjoy the video, please don't forget to like and subscribe down below. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss any upcoming videos. I have some really fun stuff planned for autumn because when this gets posted, we are officially going to be in the burr months, and it's just my favorite time of year. So I'm excited about all the upcoming content ideas I have. So yeah, make sure you like, subscribe, do those things so you don't miss anything. And you can check out my Wholesome Circle spell book that I put out. It's a twice monthly newsletter. Always has a special theme filled with practical magic for everyday living and tips and advice and rituals. I'm gonna have one coming up for the autumn equinox, for Samhain, for divination, some other fun stuff over the autumn. So the link for that is also down below if you want to check it out. I think that's all. And until next time, I'm sending you many blessings. Bye.